In my last video, I jumped into Palworld completely blind. No guides, no experience, just me, my bad fists, and a massive world of legally distinct pocket monsters. If you missed that chaotic start, make sure to check out part 1 first. So my first order of business was to get some local labor. I managed to catch this absolute unit of a deer in the last video. Now, looking at him, you wouldn't exactly expect much in the terms of manual engineering, but apparently he was a pretty good lumberjack. But as impressive as my armless lumberjack was, we couldn't just survive on raw wood. To practice my base quest and to actually level up this place, it was time to branch out into agriculture. I needed to build a berry plantation. The plan was simple: build a plot, secure a steady food supply, and establish a complete berry monopoly on the island. Finally, I was moving up in the world. I wasn't just a guy punching trees anymore. I was a manager. Everything was running beautifully. My day was chopping wood, my crops were growing, and I felt completely unstoppable. As night fell, I decided to do a quick inspection of my growing empire. The berries were planted and the wood was being processed. Everything should have been perfect, but then I noticed a major flaw in my operations. My transport team had completely checked out. There were materials scattered everywhere on the ground, and it was like these guys were moving in slow motion. Compared to the lightning fast efficiency of my armless deer, these pals were operating at the speed of a dial-up internet. So instead of being the visionary manager overseeing an automated colony, I was right back at the bottom of the corporate ladder, manually picking up the garbage in the dock while my employees stared into space and slept. We absolutely couldn't have it like this. My empire was turning into a lazy summer camp, and it was time to implement some corporate discipline. So I built the monitoring stand, the ultimate tool for micromanagement. With this beauty, I could finally dictate the exact work priorities for every single pal on the payroll. No more slacking off. No more ignoring the inventory on the floor. If you aren't carrying wood or moving berries, you aren't doing your job. And just like that, the order was restored. The logistics nightmare was solved, the ground was clean, and my automated capitalist machine was officially running at full capacity. I was the master of my own base. With the base finally back in order and my employees working like clockwork, it was time to leave the corporate office and do some exploring. And almost immediately I spotted these pals, these very colorful looking pals. I mean, look at them, you just have to check that out. In my mind, bright colors meant rare loot and an easy catch, so I tried to capture them. But as I began the careful battle to catch these beautiful creatures, I forgot one crucial detail. I still had my giant deer summoned, and he does not understand the concept of mercy. Before I managed to capture one of the pals, this man just walked over and completely obliterated the both of them. Just erased them from existence. No capturing, no new team members, just pure, unprovoked violence. Look at him, standing there, looking all majestic, without any arms, probably thinking he deserves a promotion. I mean, I wanted efficiency at the base, but I didn't ask for a hitman. Once again, I was left with absolutely nothing. Saddened by the untimely death of those two beautiful pals, and slightly traumatized by my own day's bloodlust, I decided that there was no point in mourning. It was time to leave the tragedy behind and continue my exploration journey into the unknown. And this game never ceases to surprise you. So after capturing this, let's say, artistic pengulet, I decided to set a goal for myself. That goal? Well, it is capturing my very first boss pal. And how exactly does a completely clueless beginner take down a giant intimidating island boss on their very first try? Through a display of masterclass tactical genius, of course. Which is to say, I just let my deer do absolutely all the heavy lifting while I stood safely on the sidelines, occasionally poking the beast in the rear with my makeshift spear. Teamwork makes the dream work. And honestly, capturing it after absolutely beating it to a pulp was no big issue at all, as you can see right here. Flawless execution. I never doubted myself for a second. But the rewards didn't stop there. As I was inspecting my new prize, an absolute noodle of a dragon named Chillet, I noticed something game-changing in my crafting tree. It turns out, this fluffy little boss is actually rideable, just like my deer. The only catch, I need to craft a specific saddle first. which means my days of walking around like a peasant are officially numbered as soon as I can hoard enough materials to actually build the damn thing. So after capturing this cow, I returned to the base. And to get both the saddle and the Liftmonk's submachine gun, I needed to reach level 11. So after taking a quick stop here, I went right back into the wild. There were two things I wanted to do. I wanted to complete my quest of reaching the settlement, and I also wanted to explore this tower on the map, right next to the statue. So after teleporting there, I went right into it. And what I saw in the Syndicate Tower was something I never expected. It was another fucking boss battle. And this time, the boss had ungodly amounts of HP. I was not ready for this, but I tried my best. I threw my Chillet in, and he got absolutely obliterated. And not long after that, I followed my new pal to the underworld. It was my first time dying in this game, and I didn't really know what to feel. What are the consequences? Did I lose any loot? I didn't know. And that is what was so scary. And when I finally respawned, I saw that my entire inventory was empty. And the worst part? I didn't even know what I had lost. But instead of giving up, I stood right back on my feet and decided I was gonna find the settlement instead. I was gonna have one victory at least. And after exploring for so long that night came, I finally found it. I found the settlement that I have been looking for. What? And the first thing I do? Commit criminal activities and steal their pals, of course. And after capturing this green cow, I went down to the old man that had a quest marker on his head and see what's up. And I think you can guess which tower he asked me to defeat. And with this new quest, and my own thirst for revenge, I needed to get stronger. So like usual, I took my spear, I took my pals, and I was gonna do some exploring. And right after teleporting back into the wilderness, I saw this dungeon entrance. And in the dungeon, I find some syndicate goons. So with my thirst for revenge, I just needed to take them out. And I think my deer was also thirsty for some blood, as you can see when he makes such quick work of them. And after beating them, I went even further into the dungeon and found another boss pal, the Fuddler. I was hellbent on making this guy my second boss pal, and like last time, I captured him quite easily. And after capturing that pal and leaving the dungeon, I finally had enough technology points and levels to buy both the saddle and the submachine gun. And if you've been wondering how it looks to ride this spaghetti off a dragon, this is how it looks. It's almost as if it's swimming on the grass. But enough of that spaghetti mount. I also got a submachine gun to craft, and if you've been wondering how a submachine gun pal is gonna work, then you're not alone. And to answer that question, this is how it's done. I seem to be able to stab at the same time. Interesting. I might actually have the tools to finally take revenge on that stupid tower boss. So what did I do? Of course I ventured back, and this is how the final fight played out. After shooting an entire magazine on the boss, I realized that I did basically no damage. But if I shoot him enough times, I should be able to win this. So what was my genius strategy? Well, hiding behind the pillars and letting my pals do the between work while I wait out the cooldown to be able to spray him down. And just like that, I had completed the challenge given to me by the old man, as well as my own goal for revenge. If you have enjoyed this video and want to see more Palworld videos in the future, please subscribe, leave a like, as well as comment down below. And that is all from me. See you all in the next one.